Excited for this particular video that we're sharing with you guys. This is a recording of Jeshal Mistry giving a presentation at our DocLib offsite retreat. He's a director of finance and people and culture at the time of shooting this video. Excited for him to present the core values that we've come up with as a company at DocLib and how those core values have been adopted and exemplified in our employee base. At the time of shooting this video, there's a number of employees that have really done a great job at displaying these core values in their day-to-day work. It's a great video to recount and give very tactical insight into how these core values can be applied and adopted for your work here at DocLib.
So I have been given the task to talk about something I'm passionate about, also really important, but our core values. Stephen, in mentioning running your career as a business, there's inputs and outputs. And some of those inputs is your time, the knowledge, your effort that you put into that. The how behind that is arguably incredibly important because you could spend your time and your effort being arrogant and non-compliant with a customer or just being rude. Well, that's not really leaving a good legacy. So this session is going to be focused on reflecting a little bit on our core values and how we're supposed to act as employees of DocLib, or what's expected, and then your own personal core values and how they kind of are applied into the company's core values. So our agenda, it's really hoping to finish. Oh, sorry, I need to look at you. Like I said, we won't go the full hour, but this is going to be pretty interactive, so I need you guys to kind of work with me. I didn't want to just have you guys sit in seats and listen. Change it up a little bit, but first part's going to be analyzing scenarios, some scenarios that have happened over the past year, and we'll identify some core values. And then the second half will be what I've termed core value superlatives. So you guys are all familiar with superlatives, but yeah, I'll get into that later on. So, Stephen, you can go to the next slide. Before we start, here's my first interactive question. Can any one person name our 6 core values? Does anyone know them?
All 6, or can we give you like one?
Preferably all 6, if you can. Yeah, we're going to strive for perfection. Vanessa, do you want to take a shot at it? Is that why you...
I know like humble go-getter.
Okay.
Honesty. I'm trying to think of people. I'm like, I think that helps me. Solution. People solution or something?
Yeah, I'll get empathetic, people-driven solutions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone wants to jump in?
That's good. 3 of 6 is good.
Loyalty is one for sure.
2 left. You did?
I don't know.
Grit.
Yeah.
And what's the last one?
Dip and dodge.
Dip and dodge. Don't be closed-minded, but...
Open-minded.
Vanessa, thank you for speaking up, initiating. Got a crisp 20 for you.
Now that would have jogged my memory.
Yeah, so let's get into the scenarios. I would advise you to listen up. Just one click. Does anyone know? One more click. I don't know why it's not working.
Oh, you said just one.
Sorry. I did.
So I gave one click.
Ticket number 711414.
Ah, yes.
Does anyone know what that is about?
I love that ticket. That was great.
Joey, do you know what it's about?
I feel like I should.
Maybe.
You're asking me.
Well, here, let's go to the next prompt here. On September 6th, Shrikant, or also known as Shri, from NIDEC, sent a ticket asking for a different formatting to be implemented in a DocLib report. This ticket was assigned to Joey. Many of Joey's responses were filled with pleases, like please do this or please do that, and deference. Sometimes 3 to 4 responses in one day. Constant question asking and a solution to the problem. To which Shri responded by saying, I think we are on the right track here. Thank you. Also, that is very good news. Thanks for the thanks for the update. 36 replies later, this ticket appears to be solved. Here's our scenario. Here's our 6 core values. For each scenario, I've identified 3 core values that are kind of specific to the situation. So what do you guys see? So there's a lot in here, and feel free to call it out.
For $20, great.
So where do you where do you see grit, Steve?
In the 36 replies.
Yeah, I'd say, right? That's pretty intense. For $20, grit is correct.
Empathetic, people-driven solutions.
All right, talk. Talk to me about that one. Why do you think that? Empathetic, people-driven solutions.
I think Joey's approach with like the pleases and like trying to find a solution without either giving up or being annoyed. It took 36 replies. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of his effort in responding, and I think for 36 replies later for it to be completed without him being frustrated, or if he was, it wasn't shown. I think it's showing that he's like empathetic to the customer and being driven to get it completed. So.
Yeah, spot on. I agree. $20 for empathetic, people-driven solutions.
Empathetic, people-driven solutions.
All right, so I identified one more. What do you guys think is the last one?
I'd say open-minded.
Okay. Talk to me through that one.
So I would think it takes an open-minded approach anytime you're dealing with NIDEC and or Shri. But more evidence in the amount of like give and take it took of him asking questions and finding solutions to try and have Shri work on something and try to test that and then ask him to elaborate.
Yeah.
It's an open-minded approach.
No, definitely. That's really key. And I actually read through every single one of your ticket responses, Joey. And you definitely did. Like, I was really impressed with just your candor about that. So I did tag the last one as like kind of humble go-getting because you expressed a lot of humility in the way that you approached responding to Shri. Definitely open-minded, and I would argue that both are applicable here for sure. So, Spencer, $20 for open-minded, humble go-getting.
2 claps, Joe.
But yes, Joey, well done. I think if you hit the next one, those 3 pop up that I identified. But yeah. Ready for another scenario? Yeah. Scenario 2. You can go one more click.
That's a great question, Joey. Wouldn't have had the scenario at all.
Give
I think
Joey
Joey
one of my
deserves a
20
20.
for
No,
this.
that's fine. I'll give it.
There you go. On November 9th, 2022.
For your service.
So this was a year and 6 days ago. The project of DocIndex began. Steven, our CEO, had an initial timeline for implementation, which ultimately changed through many transparent development conversations with Justin and R&D. Spencer and Melissa did an enormous amount of testing, putting thousands of invoices through DocIndex per week, and we officially went live with the first customer in August 2023, which was a Steel Flash. So here's our second scenario. Again, 3 core values to the scenario that I kind of identified. What do you guys see in this?
Credit for sure. Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Give me, so I heard, Marcus, I heard grit. Where do you see grit in the scenario?
Well, just knowing what I know about the project. You had to just keep persevering and finding the solutions.
Yeah.
And certainly there were a number of hours involved in just researching what was available to us and how we could use that and how we could marry the parts together. So just a ton of grit.
Yeah. Yeah, and the longevity of it too, like over a year. And
It's very fast.
yeah, that's incredibly fast. So, ton of grit. Grit for 20.
Right on.
I think I heard someone say honesty, but I'm not sure who said it. Steve, where do you see honesty in this scenario?
Probably the timeline changing. There had to, obviously
obviously be some honest discussions
Yeah.
about what was possible, what wasn't, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Justin probably had to be honest, like, hey, at some point, this is not gonna happen by this deadline or
Yeah.
because of this roadblock or whatever. And I think that kind of goes with open-mindedness as far as like being open to change of plans in order to achieve the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually remember when you had built your initial timeline and you came to me and you said, so it needs to be extended by a lot. Talk to Justin. Yeah, so that for sure. And yeah, exactly right. So you said honesty.
Yeah, let's suggest the other one. This one give me 2 tweaks.
I thought about it. One more. Steve kind of hinted at it at the very end when he was talking.
Open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stephen had to have an open mind as well. When Justin said, "Hey, this timeline needs to be extended," I think Justin Spencer Moss also had an open mind when they were working through testing and understanding that changes may have need to have been made or things of that nature as well.
Yeah. Yeah. 20 for open-minded. I hope you guys are. These are expensive slides. I wanted to bring some excitement to this one.
I didn't realize I needed to pay for engagement.
Isn't this how pharmaceutical sales kind of does it too?
You get a car.
All right, let's go to the final and last scenario. Scenario number 3. This is the last one. On March 25th, 1998.
Let's go, baby.
Hope I'm not dating you, Marcus. Marcus, I did get Marcus's approval before I put this up there. So Marcus started with DocLib. Over these years, he has passed down knowledge to many employees. And starting in 2024, training documents and videos will be created from the legacy knowledge that Marcus possesses. Our customers and employees will be better served and equipped because of this effort.
Legacy in a good way.
Legacy in a good way, yeah. Thank you. Again, 3 core values. What do you guys see in this scenario?
Loyalty.
Who said it first? I don't know. It was a crowd.
Everybody.
It was a crowd. Whoever wants to explain why it's loyalty.
I mean, Marcus has worked here for 26 years at this point. I mean, that's a long time in your career. It's definitely embodies loyalty to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only 27.
Yeah, don't say that. Yes, loyalty for sure. Loyalty for sure. That's big,
Michael Scott, he sat down.
big one.
He walks away crying.
What else? There's 2 other ones I pulled in this scenario.
People-driven solution.
Okay, talk me through that one.
Literally using the skills he's accumulated over the years to drive a solution for the rest of the company.
Yeah. Yeah, and it better serves both our customers and ourselves. So people on both sides, right? Well done, Spencer. $20. All right, one more.
I don't think this is going to be one of them, but just reading between the lines definitely grit. It's been a war, I'll say, I'm sure, getting through all those years.
Yeah.
See the other side. So that's definitely in between the lines, so I don't expect that to be a real answer, but it's huge.
No, it wasn't the one I identified, but for sure. I do want to make note of that. Marcus, the amount of grit that you've shown over the last 26 years is pretty impeccable. So,
That's 2 months.
as well as 2 months. Yeah. Yeah. Not the one I picked, but so still one more out there.
That's why I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say open-minded.
Okay.
The
Why?
last, 26 years, just being open-minded to all the changes that, it's gone through DocLib and just being willing to adapt. I'm sure, Marcus, you've seen a lot here in 26 years.
Yeah.
26 years. So, just being able to have that open-mindedness and, being able to carry yourself through 26 years here, I think.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is the one I was thinking too. And on the flip side of that too, looking to the future, starting in 2024, we're going to take a different approach to passing down this knowledge, creating formal training videos through the help of Christian, and utilizing that. So open-minded to changing our process, change the way we do things. Yeah, open-minded for sure. You can hit the next. $20 to Ryan.
Everybody but Marcus got $20 for being.
I wasn't gonna say anything there.
Okay, you can go to the next slide. So core value superlatives. To be completely transparent, I sent each of you guys a message last week asking for you to pick a certain person to a core value. So each of you got that Teams message, and you all pretty much essentially voted for each other. I don't know if you could read between the lines by doing that, but that's what happened. So just for this segment of the presentation. And I really wanted to, this is gonna sound like just a shower of compliments that I get to be the liaison to do, but it's really from your coworkers, which is a sweet thing. So just a ton of praise. That's what I want the last 15 minutes here to be, is just to recognize the good work that you guys have done in exemplifying our core values. And that's been really cool to just read what Justin said about all of you, to read what Marcus said about all of you guys. It's just really cool. So I get to share that. And that's this next part. So, Steven, this one's kind of delicate, so we'll go one at a time for this guy. But you can go to the next slide. All right, so the first three we're gonna get into are loyalty, honesty, and grit. We'll start with loyalty. Steven, you can hit the slide for that. As you could have guessed, Marcus is up there. We just kind of explained a lot of that, but also Scott. So you guys were actually tied for the most votes there. Here are some things, Scott, that your coworkers said about you. Day in and day out, can always rely on him. Loyal to his people, sticking with us through rough patches. So, and especially recently in just turnover in the customer success department, just you're constant, which is awesome. So a lot of loyalty there. Marcus, we said it before, I'll say it again, but been loyal to the company for so many years. He's been with the company for the longest. Someone said, but being a part of DocLib for as long as he has is a definition of loyalty. So really cool. Vanessa. Some things I would have said about you for loyalty were always down for the cause, no matter the difficulty. So, sweet things about that. We can go to the next one, Stephen. Honesty. The person who took that one home is Steve Snyder. Steve, some things that were said was a relentless search for the truth of what happened, and when presented with a problem. Okay. So you seek it out till the end. And that takes a lot of honesty for sure. Justin, some things that are said about you for honesty were he will always tell it to you straight, but in a way that you will understand. Hold on here. Stephen, laying our various business changes in an honest way, which you just did for the past hour. So you literally just lived that out, which is sweet. Yeah. So that was honesty. Let's go to grit. Justin, you took home the grit award. I don't have trophies. That would be kind of cool. No, I ran out of 20s, unfortunately. But we could take a quick break. Justin, you constantly deliver on projects, handling constant fires. You're in the trenches. You dig in and you find a solution. DocIndex is an example of that. Someone said, not much more needs to be said. So, thank you, Justin, for exemplifying grit day in and day out. Marcus, you also, a lot was said about you for grit. Always shows passion and perseverance no matter how busy he is. Another person said, you're a one-man army, which is definitely very true. So, thank you for your grit too. We can go to the next one, Stephen. All right, the last three. We'll start with the mouthful, empathetic, people-driven solutions. You can go to the next slide. Next person should pop up. Ryan. Someone said, customers love him through the way that he responds and asks questions on different things. Thank you for your empathetic approach with our customers, Ryan. Scott, some people also said some things about you for this core value. Instrumental in getting implementations across the finish line, often working outside of the general 9 to 5. His problem-solving approach ensures that everyone is happy. He's always a joy to work with. So thank you for that. So that's the people-driven solution more on the inside, internally with our coworkers, which is just as important. Vanessa, she puts others first constantly, always quick to ask how she can first serve before she serves herself. Thank you, Vanessa, for that. All right, next we got open-minded. The winner for this one is Spencer. Let me scroll down here. Where are my notes? Sorry, guys. I have it written on here. I didn't have it memorized. Here we go. Switching careers. Going out on a limb to learn a whole new industry and a whole new product. Takes a lot of open-mindedness. So thank you for that. And then Stephen, someone said, always willing to listen, understands and tries new ideas. And recently joining us in the trenches and shown willingness to learn and understand the how and why. So your whole mission of seeking education, that's definitely being received from our team, which is just a good thing to recognize. So thank you for that. All right. And then humble go-getting. Joey. That is, I mean, we kind of realized that in the first scenario with the 36 ticket responses, but yeah, Joey takes tasks and runs with them, gets the job done with no fanfare to his accomplishments. That's definitely true. Always willing and ready for the next task, diving into bug fixes. Thank you for that, Joey. Couple other people here want to recognize is Spencer. Someone said willing to ask questions and find solutions on his own. Takes initiative to schedule calls with the team and is handling more tickets on his own every day. Ryan works hard to learn the ins and outs of DocLib, manages difficult customer expectations. He asks appropriate questions and is honest with the customer in everything. And then Steven, last one's for you. Some people said, always looking for new ways to improve and help the company be successful. A younger man who runs the company you work for and always treats people respectfully, that's a humble go-getter. So there's the love. It's all from your coworkers. I hope that was received well. But I didn't want to just say the people who want to not say, the honorable mentions, because everyone in this room has just done an incredible job of living this out, and I think we're reaping the dividends of that every day. So thank you guys. Steve, you can go to the next slide. So
Applause for Jake.
I wanted to end just on moving forward. Steve, you can hit the first one here. Why do we talk about core values? Why is this important? The first slide, this is the how behind what we do. How do we live out those inputs? How do we act with our time? How do we act with our effort? We just saw countless examples of how to do that. So our core values help us carry out our vision. Stephen talked about vision. He talked about mission. I think if you hit the next one, Stephen. The vision of DocLib, and I don't know if you guys remember seeing this when we first transitioned the company in 2021, but the vision is this, is we exist to implement automated processes in pursuit of creating more valuable work. That was on the very first PowerPoint I think that we showed y'all. But you might be wondering, like, how the heck do we do this? Well, you do it by, you live it out the core value. Like, that's the first step. If you can act in that way in tickets, in projects, with your coworkers, like, you're doing it. You're on a fast track to living out that vision and running your career as a business. So yeah, incredibly important. And then Stephen, the next one, kind of just stayed on the W theme with the first part of the sentence, but when we are weary or wired, remember the foundation being those core values. There's definitely going to be times throughout the next year, or even you can probably reflect on the past year, when you've been weary, when you've answered 36 ticket replies, or you're hopping on for the 4th time with that call in Australia at 8 p.m. outside of office hours. I'm thinking of you, Scott. Or it's just a grind because you've been coding for 6 straight hours working on DocIndex. Like, weariness can come. And it's easy to complain. It's easy to just take a shortcut, and not remember these core values that we're supposed to live by and live in. Or when you're wired, like when you might possibly close the biggest private company in the U.S. on a multi-million-dollar deal, or things we just launched DocIndex, like a great new software product. Or you're supposed to be arrogant in that? No, like be humble go-getters. Like let's express humility when we're wired, when we're just like ready to go. In both situations, just remember the foundation, which is the values that we are supposed to exemplify. That's kind of what I wanted to leave you guys with, because I know, and especially in the next 2 years for sure, we're hiring 2 new developers. We're going to grow as a company in people, in product. We're launching DocIndex. We're going to experience this for sure. We're going to be weary. We're going to be wired. But just come back to the core, which is the core values. So that's what I got. That's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Yeah. Any thoughts or reflections on that?
I can dig it.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of hear praise.
Yeah.
Internally.
Yeah. Marcus, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but everyone submitted like the superlatives thing, and Marcus, he literally wrote a book, which I loved. Like I got to read all of it, and it was really sweet to see the things that he said about all of y'all, and I tried to capture it all in what I said, but just a lot of loyalty and a lot of just appreciation from you specifically, being the seasoned vet, if I will. It's really appreciated. So, but yeah, just a big thank you guys.
We got a great team. I mean, we really do. I've said that for a long time. And I've seen a lot of people come and go over the years. Mm-hmm. And, some, it was probably a good thing they left. Some left before maybe their time. But, I've always said that we do have a really good core group here.
Yeah.
And Ryan, I just started working with you, but you've been great with the customers, and I know it's been difficult. I mean, I know you've been, hey, you got a second to talk to me. I think, okay, yeah, give me a minute here, and then I get caught in something else, and it's the next day. Hey, I get it, and but you're handling the customers really well. All of you, seriously, you're all ready and willing to learn, and you can't ask for more than that. You really can't.
Yeah, we're ready to build. We're like in such a good spot, great foundation. We're ready to take off like a rocket ship. So excited to see the next couple of years, guys, especially with y'all.